Blends, Mr. Father of Others. You can do that on your free time. I look forward to buying your book and the autograph. I'm right-handed. If you want to ask what travel books I bought and in the Chinese text and see how they categorize and with different indicators, I have done reading first on Japan because it's such a language barrier. All I can say is moshi moshi or shake hands, but they don't shake hands, so it's usually moshi moshi, konnichiwa, and then just eat. And then depending on what you eat, they see how aggressive you are with your spendings. So it's not always necessarily, boy, you can't eat this and that. If you're very aggressive and eat what you eat, it means that you have a very good idea sometimes. And I always eat California rolls. Yeah. So that's given the fact that I'm only 39 years old, and that I know that they really look for the platform and see the diligence before they invest into you, or the machineries discounts. I got the discounts. You know what? Speaking of that, right? I just found my check that I paid Sony and that my secretary intentionally did not pay. I'll show you later. Alright, but with the books, right? It is Bangkok, New Zealand, North Europe, Shenzhen is in China, and then only Shenzhen I bought a few books. One talks about the only the spas. I was like, dude, that's dirty. Why do people share the same pool? And then I went there a few times to just to walk around and tour. May I get a understanding what kind of services there are other than what they show here? And then they might ask you, do you want some jelly or jello? And things. And then it was an interesting finding that laborer in China, when they have to build a whole city, and painting, roller, and they need the companionship and nail care and hair. Not really the hair is easy, but the nails and making them feel a level of specialties, skills, and contribution to the city. So there are the Vietnamese that I had read about. Well, the Vietnam hospitality. Japan, I pretty much read every single territory and island. Singapore, Bangkok again. Thailand is such a unique culture because remember back in year 2002 and year 2000 there was a stock market crash, aftershock. So during the stock market crash, one of the wealthiest, richest Thai entrepreneur and corporate leader went to sell hot dogs, and then at the hot dog stand, and then I remember it was the structure and his philosophy that his guys first and then come back to him. So from that story I heard that he redeveloped. So that's good. Congratulations. And then I always look within the region what hobbies there can be. This one is saying weekend. Yeah, weekend enjoyables. Some snacks and just see and be seen kind of. Food tasting. Where does this thing focus at? Alright, and you asked me what these are, right? And excuse the springs. No springs, okay? In my office. If it's not within the beer barrel. Beer barrel. Yeah, beer barrel. Alright, so here they are. So other nations that I had read about. And totally inclined to give a few inputs and precise steps that I had achieved. What I have achieved today is that that they're always a starting point of each large cities and metropolis. And according to what I know, number one, there's a city hall, and then there is attached police, fire, and clinic. And a cartoon that I can refer back to was just cartoons. So that's how I can relate to strangers. Once again, any given stranger, I always ask, how was your town going up, or how was your city? There's always a city hall, attached, have police, fire department, and a clinic. And that's how everything starts. So other books, right? Japanese. And this one's saying the three cities, and then this is the other parts. Oh, this one is Chinese Taipei. So it is south of Taiwan and then Russia. Okay, so this is how I organize the books. Interesting, right? This is Beijing. All right. Malaysia, Islamic Muslim, face mask, ladies. So Malaysia, right? In school I joked around. I said I dated every single race and nationality, maybe as a group, but not the Malaysian. And then later on I discovered she was the one on my computers. Scores. Shanghai. Why am I so confident to release some of my intelligence and some of my findings is because I'm so confident Inner China would not have an open seaport like Hong Kong. And Shanghai is always, by me that they're every day around the clock, doing a lot of data entry. Alright, so Singapore is a part of Malaysia that has split it a imaginary border, alright, that enables another seaport and banking because of the confidence, I said, People always say aggression. Yes, it is aggressive in a sense. We need supplies to work. We need bookshelves. Bookshelves. And paper and pen. Yeah. So if there might be indicators, and you can't just buy pen without buying some snacks, right? So when you buy the bookshelf from IKEA, you ask for the gummy candies or the jam, What else? And repairs. I gotta get the tools. So that's how some interesting capital cities or secondary special economical zones becomes competitive. So for example, the other time, latest year, I was speaking to someone from near Sichuan in China, and they saying, we're almost a special economical zone like Shenzhen. I said Shenzhen is because Hong Kong overstocked into Shenzhen, and Shenzhen does not want to offend Guangzhou of the Guangdong province, Cantonese. So that's a SEZ, the Special Administrative Region Economical Zone. And I say, yeah, I see that inner cities can have special administrative economical zones, the SEZ. So remember that SEZ, because my capstone concept's already spread out. And I have to upkeep it. Alright, so Dubai, it was shocking to me how a mirage and just a dreamer city had really developed. But one thing, motorcycles, they don't get you everywhere in Dubai because it might be windy, with a lot of wind. So yeah, I can't wait to go to Dubai one day at the United Emirates. United Arab Emirates. Yeah, United Arab Emirates. I always remember Emirates, but I don't remember, the A word because it's kind of the same, from the Silk Road. Did you know the Silk Road? One of the most enticing new introduction was the ice, and how they get the ice is by dry ice, and to make the ice, and the dry ice was transported by a wrapping, big wrapping of powder, and they have to ship it all the way to China from the Middle East. So I don't know who gets the credit for that. So there is always interesting theory that there was a way to preserve energy in a pot of oily, some kind of batteries, okay? But that's the taboo of science or commissioning scientists. When there's medical issues, that the girls or the ladies officer saying, he's not looking at me today, he doesn't say hi. Hi ladies. Hey ladies, it's Sunday, I hope you have a date. Alright, so Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, and I bought double. Yeah, and I'm not giving it to the ladies officers. They haven't shown me their annual catalog of LV, Gucci. What else do they shop? L'Oreal. They haven't gave me the catalog yet, and I think I'm missing my LV sunglasses catalog. Guess what? I told one of the lady officers I bought these LV. I went back the week after trying to buy another pair, another model. It was all gone. So this is year 2018 model. This is another Japanese self-sufficiency and self-efficiency indicator. Chinese also, but the Chinese have to deal with a different terrain and climate. This is Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia. And excuse me, looking so professional like sales guy when you want to do this. Okay, so this is Indonesia. Macau. You guys want to gamble? Hey, it's Macau, the Asia capital of gambling, gaming. Do you want to gamble? I'm just kidding. So Macau is really fun in a sense that you get profiled as either a tourist, a mediocre. Mediocre is medium level, or the high roller. I am a tourist, but a high roller by time spending. That you have to follow me with the security before I snap picture and make a complaint on you guys. And guess what they gave you? Guess what they gave me as a greeter? They have it on the high platform to a 2-story. Hey, try to snap a picture of that. That was so funny. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah. And I had to look for swimming trunks, and I bought the basketball shorts. So Shanghai and Beijing again. Vietnam. I had recommended Vietnam a fishing breeding choice. Yeah, and I had expressed my capstone concepts, understanding. In order to breed bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger fish, you have to have separate pots and ponds. So from the the infancy stage breeding, you have to take it to a middle pond, to the bigger ponds. So sometimes big fish in the small ponds. That's the lyrical thesis of hip hop. Okay, so that's Vietnam. And it's a very beautiful, peaceful, and serenity. Yeah. It is next to the Cambodia area. So it is ocean shore serenity until you get inside the Ho Chi Minh City. You see the statue. Hey, you're so short. Let me give you a phrase that I gave you again. It's not the size of the fight. It's the size of the fight in you. Yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah. Alright. Boys and girls, next. We have the MTR map. I forgot about that. MTR is the Metro Train Railway. Why is it underground? It started above ground, and then you have to do it simultaneously. You know? Slower, faster. Seoul. Souel. Souel. Alright. I don't worry about them too much. I will soon. Like my Taekwondo video said, you know, so it was good. The time investment Koreans done on computing, salute. but we always have the conceptual understanding as the other chinky guys. Alright? So it's gonna be a showdown. Alright? Who is going to really invest the money and the time programming the phones and things. So it's gonna be a showdown. Don't be too aggressive. We're not so confident about time spending on the darn computers, you know? So it'll be fun. And I dated Korean ladies. They are so obedient. Jump. How high? Really? Do you want me to jump with you? I'll catch you. Just you. How many do you have? Alright. So that's how it was. By the time I dated Korean ladies, it was fun because young ladies. That it was fun because they had multilingual classes that was very uniform curriculum. So they understood Mandarin, and there were exchanges already. Whereas, you know, and I'm never ever nervous in front of the Koreans because they gave me an easy one. And that was my high school date to dance. Yeah. I talk. Yeah. So they gave me an easy one. So Malaysia again. Shenzhen, Shanghai. And then Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, is different area. There's the northern, and then the southern, and then there's the mountain. Stay away from the mountains. Yeah, because they prefer to just cut tea leaves, right? But the tea leaves make great ambience because remember in Los Angeles you have the Tapioca Express, Quickly, AU, and other similar to Starbucks but not so cocoa plants, better for potatoes, kind of, you know, agricultural budget. So there's the Taipei. Chinese always emphasize that Taiwan was a province of China, so their relations is multilateral development, but the language has no barrier, so there are investments, right? The political view, of course, is different. In Taiwan, they were the KMT, and the KMT stood for teachings and guidelines, and it was a modern history that the Chinese in the mainland were focused on budgeting. We want a budget. We want to know budget and how to handle our massive inheritance while you KMT went to the island, kind of. Yeah. So with the inheritance, you know, that they clean, you know, ouch, hey. So they have to clean, and then they have to, you know. So that's my story. That's my side of the story. What happened? While Taiwanese were just, yeah, growing. Yeah. And Taiwan was admired by me to have a very much, say, island of Taiwan. And then the train and road station to go around the coastal area, and then 4 seasons of crops and studies. Taiwan is one of the best notes taker. Yeah, the notes taker. No, the notes taker. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, I can finish the video. Come on, notes taker. Alright. Next, there is South Africa. That was very interesting. South Africa is a colony or colonized point to have a translation with Nigeria, mostly Nigeria, as the Los Angeles introduced Africans for translations. And what was interesting about South Africa was Mr. Former President South Africa Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela had gotten in a situation once he could not explain his focuses, and he was put behind some of his family members to have needed to study his law books and write new laws presentations, and that was a very interesting biography that I had learned. Mr. Nelson Mandela, a spiritual, diligent, again, legendary icon among the African culture and inspire many, because he spent his life developing laws and ordinances that he gotten in trouble for among the guys. So, South Africa. Hey, did you know the fastest animal in Africa is the cheetah? Cheetah, CHEETA, and when they go, their whole body stretches and then flex again and flex again. So yeah, that was a great story. Mr. Nelson Mandela again. South Africa. Nigeria with the translators. Hey, the Cameroon soccer. You got the letters, right? What else do I know about Africa? Is that there's Kenya, and then there is the republics, and all they need is the water pipes. Water pipes can always be plastic first, and their outer layer metal. That's a freebie. And it can always be on land first, and then go underground. And on the ones on land, you can cover it with cement. So that's a big project during my lifetime. But first, we all need computer and phones. Yo! Alright. So, world history. And then the body maintenance, stretches and things. As far as the travel book goes, every province in Hong Kong, Hong Kong inner part, that is the mainland China, the bigger mainland China, every province is a book. Jamaica, Cuba, those are the Caribbeans. Antarctica and the South Pole, North Pole, Antarcticas, they're considered to be extreme weather, but they always enjoy gifts and the December writing to sing Santa Claus, and they stamp it back. I think that there is a very much ideal climate at near the Panama Canal, the equator. So it'll be interesting. And some of the machines, they need the programs and instructions. So translators for Africa is often the Nigerians, the Cameroons, and Kenya is the pace setter, and then the Republics, and then let me see. This is all South American inside. Egypt. Egypt is always known by me, or emphasized by me, to have one of the smartest and wisest history of mankind in that region. For example, I came back to talk about the mummies, and I told them the nails and the hair is an indicator how healthy you are and how well you can manage yourself. And excuse my hair today. It's usually more preppy. And I know these steroid shots that you can do your hair, but you have to tie it up. So, and I was attacked once. Not really attacked, but they had these electrical things, and then they shaved my head a little bit, and that was a little warning. Yeah. So you can look at my back of the head. I have a ball spot ones, and all they needed was some needles. So that's how I know about the Africans. The Africans, they are very strong. They are very outgoing, venturous. But venturous, you have to give them a goal and a sample. And that's why in America, East Coast, there were the Rockefellers. And in the West Coast, we still look up to the Rockefellers. Yeah. And some of my look up to people were the Soul Train and the BET. And I wouldn't mind, having a day or